Hi, we're Paula and Sue from Creative Analysis. We're a Zoho partner in Yorkshire in England, and we want to tell you how working remotely really works for us and how we've been doing it for years already, and want to share with you some of our tips on how we keep it working and how it's successful for us. So over to Sue.
So yeah, we've been working remotely for some years now. So we've obviously got into a routine with everything. We've found routines that work for us. I especially love a headset because it helps me block out anything that's going on elsewhere. And I kind of know that when I put my headset on, especially for a video call, I'm ready to work. So it's kind of one of my triggers. We run as a teal business. It was quite important to us to run the business like this. It was a flat structure and based on relationships, really, which is key for when you're working remotely, that you build positive relationships with your colleagues and other members of your team. Makes it a lot easier to work alongside each other. And it helps you build really good disciplines and routines, which is integral, really, to working from home, isn't it, Paula?
Yeah, without a routine, it doesn't work. The one thing that I can't stress enough is routine and discipline, and you've got to find out what works for you. I mean, humans need routine, and living and working and eating and sleeping in your own home is challenging if you haven't got that in place. So for me, there's lots of key things in a routine, but the main one really is about the morning. And the morning for me is absolutely blocked out, and that's because I like to do some of these and some of this, because well, there's two things there. There's movement, but there's also that setting the scene for the day, and without that, it's you just sort of getting out of bed, getting a shower, probably tempted not to get dressed properly, sitting in front of your computer, and before you know it, it's lunchtime, and perhaps you've forgotten to eat. So that really sets the scene for me. Getting up, doing some exercise, and if it wasn't the current situation, it would be going to the gym every other day and then yoga in between. But at the moment, it's about, well, I've built a home gym basically, so I can do all of that at home. Get up in the morning, do an hour's exercise, do some meditation, have some breakfast, sit down to work, and then I feel fresh and ready.
Yeah, and it's setting those core hours as well, isn't it? So I think as a team, we all have slightly different hours that we work based on, our home environments and also our work style, and that some people find it easier to work earlier in the morning and finish earlier. Others are night owls and find that they're most creative and productive in an evening, which actually works brilliantly in a business setting. But we found that if we set those core hours where we all know that we're all available during these times, then that's when we would factor in things like client meetings and stuff. So I'm the same as Paula in that I have a morning routine. I exercise quite early in the morning before my daughter wakes up, and then we have breakfast. She goes off to school under normal circumstances, and then I start work, and then I'm able to finish a little bit earlier so that when she's home from school, I'm around and I can spend some time with her. But yeah, so having that communication between members of the team about, when you're functioning best. Some of us, like I'm quite good in the morning, and then I can sometimes tail off towards the end of the afternoon. So that's also about fitting the right kinds of work in when you know that perhaps your attention is more on point, and you can focus. I know Paula's got a brilliant app for focusing that will remind you to take breaks, but it will also turn off your alerts on your phone, so you're not getting that distraction when you know that you really need to spend some time focusing. Yeah,
so this is the app. So if it's called Brain Focus, and it's known as the Pomodoro technique. It's something I learned through reading about teal. So this is a really great book if you want to learn about teal.
Brilliant book.
And it's written by Frederick Laloux. Teaches you all about how to work self-managed teams, taking responsibility for your own projects, and you're owning everything that's your tasks and not expecting to be managed by somebody else. Open communication, flat structures, fantastic. So I found out about the Pomodoro technique whilst I was reading around the Teal and Frederick Laloux's. And basically what it does is there's lots of apps for it. So you just search for Pomodoro, and you can set bursts of work time, but then it'll give you a break in between. So you set the timer going. Actually, so 20 minutes, it'll disable Wi-Fi. you work solidly for 20 minutes and then it'll stop and it'll ping and it'll say, go get a cup of tea. So you've got 5 minutes, come back, stop it, start it again. And you can set it for as many times as you like. It's really important that if you've got to focus and concentrate on something.
Yeah, because I know that sort of communicating between each other as a team, we often use click. So I know when you're trying to focus on something, sometimes if you've got click going in the background, that's a great tool for stopping that. So we obviously use Zoho One and the communication tools on there all the time. But I'd say that click we are on a lot during the day for quick questions for each other. And then obviously we'll come on a video call for more slightly lengthy conversations if we need to talk something through, if we need to work on something together as a team. We can all be working on a project at our individual parts of it, but we'll have a video call going so that we can just chip in and ask people questions and run things past people. So that level of communication is great. We also share our calendars, which makes it brilliant if maybe it's a time of day that I'm not working at that time. Someone else can book an appointment in my diary because they can see exactly what I'm doing. It also means that every day you know what's coming the next day, so you can kind of finish your day knowing like, okay, that's what I'm doing first thing in the morning. So mentally you're like, okay, so I'm prepped for that. So it just makes sure that you're on top of everything all the time and you feel in control. Obviously, we're organising our work through projects and CRM systems and sending invites and things like that. So we just know that all that stress of what's coming the next day is just gone because you know that it's all there ready for you to pick up the next day when you're about to work. That works really well for us, doesn't it?
Yeah, Zoho Projects really helps with that as well, because once you get deeper into a project, it's gone beyond the initial, like, oh, we've got a page of notes about it. We get it into a Zoho project, and then we've got tasks assigned to each other, so we all know what we need to do. That's what self-management is about you set the project up, you allocate the tasks, and then each individual can self-manage. Yes, some people need managing from an organisation point of view. They struggle with their own discipline, and that's more the issue, is that you have to manage people's discipline, or ways of working, times of working. But in the main, Zoho Projects keeps us on track with what tasks we each need to do as a team. And sometimes we work with freelancers, so we're able to share those projects outside, and those freelancers are also expected to work in the same way as we do, so in a self-managed way, and we're there always as a team for each other, but not to manage each other. It's very important
keep
for us
in touch. Yeah. And it's important to us to always have that personal element as well, so we won't just jump straight into work things. We'll do our social check-in, how are you feeling today, or at the end of the day, have you had a good day, what's going on, what are you doing tonight. So yeah, it works for us. It's fantastic. And we find remote working is the perfect way for us to run the business. It really suits all our lifestyles. But we also find that we don't miss out on that element of being in a team and in an office, because we still feel like we've got that.
No, we're never alone. Working. Remote working is different to lone working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Never feel lonely as whilst I'm working. In fact, it's fun. It's fun to know that we can have a laugh with each other. I think that's one of the important things as well, is have a laugh with your team.
Absolutely.
Have a cuppa break on a video call. Why not? It doesn't have to always be about work.
No.
So we do make it a point of having a laugh on our calls, even if we're in the tech detail. We like to lighten
keep it light.
Who does that really well?
I like to keep it light. And when Paula's talking about, she'll show you her brew, I'll show you what I'm going to have a drink after this call. So we're going to celebrate the end of the week with a
nice
cheeky whiskey and a nice coffee. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.